Supercar. With beauty and grace, as swift as can be, watch it flying through the air. It travels in space or under the sea, and it can journey anywhere. Supercar, Supercar. It travels on land or roams the skies, through the heavens' stormy rage. It's Mercury manned and everyone cries, it's the marvel of the age. Supercar, Supercar, Supercar!
Hey, Mitch. Where are you, Mitch? Now, come on out, Mitch. I know you're hiding someplace. Now, Mitch, you should know better than to get behind the jet, even in play. Now, come on out now, before the professor sees you.
So you see, the modified turbo deflector mounting makes just the difference to the thrust on changeover.
Satisfactory. Most satisfactory.
And it will reduce physical stresses on you, Mike.
Great, it gets kind of wearisome being slapped back in your seat all the time.
Professor?
From now on, it will be like riding on air.
Well, surely that's... just what it is.
Hey, Professor, there's something wrong with Mitch.
Not now, Jimmy.
Yeah, but he's down behind the jet, and I can't make him move.
Come on, then.
He's just playing hard to get.
I don't think he's playing at all.
Well, what do you mean, Doc?
Irregular breathing, a muscular restlessness, and I fear he's sick.
Oh, Mitch.
Is it, serious?
In my opinion, he needs immediate attention. I hope it's not too late.
How bad is he, Professor? I just gotta know.
Well, we'll know in a moment, Jimmy. Dr. Baker is having a word with Mr. Hardwick, the vet.
Mitch will be okay, Jimmy. You'll see.
Gee, I sure hope so. It's all right, Mitch. We'll look after you. You just lie still now.
Well, I've seen Mr. Hardwick off.
What did he say?
And I fear he's not very knowledgeable on the subject. I suppose for a man more conversant with cattle and dogs and horses, that's only to be expected.
Yeah, but what's he gonna do?
Well, for the time being, he suggests this antipyretic to fight the fever.
Do you think it will work?
Certainly can do no harm. Meanwhile, he will be researching into some standard work on therapeutics to see what more can be done.
But what'll we do if he can't help?
Then we'll just have to nurse Mitch ourselves, won't we, Doctor? Doctor, what has happened to Dr. Baker?
P-L-A, placentalia, plagyhedral, plasmodium. Yes, curious. Most curious.
Hey, Doc, are you in there?
Yes, come in. Did you know, Mike, that plasmodium is the name given to certain parasitic organisms found in the blood of patients with quartan and tertian ague?
Well, actually, I didn't know.
Yes, according to Dr. Sharma, the monkeys of the Amazon basin are susceptible to an illness called by the natives he who sleeps, commencing with a feverish restlessness and giving way to an apathetic, semi-comatose state.
Well, that sounds like Mitch, especially the fever part.
It goes on to say, the monkeys are sometimes seen to cure themselves by eating, during their wakeful moments, the leaves of the jungle plant known in the local tongue as tlogai. Here, look, there's a picture. Rather pretty, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, let's go get some.
Get some. Some tlogai?
Well, you got a better idea?
Well, since you press the point, no.
He's sleeping, I guess.
I reckon that's the comatose state like you said, Doc.
I fear so.
Then I'll be on my way. You don't mind if I borrow the supercar, do you, Professor?
Borrow supercar?
Mike has volunteered to obtain a herbal remedy in the form of the Tlogai plant from the Amazon.
The Amazon?
Yeah, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but look at it this way. Mitch is one of the outfit, and he's sick. Maybe this is a little further than the corner drugstore, but that's what supercar's for.
Yes, of course you are right, Mike, but are you sure you'll be able to find this plant?
Let him try, Professor, please. For Mitch's sake.
I'm sure we'll find the plant, Professor, because I shall go with Mike.
Are you sure you want to, Dr. Beaker? I'll be glad to have you along, of course.
It will be better if I come along. You are a pilot. I am a scientist. I shall be able to select those areas where the plant is most likely to be found.
Well, you just got yourself a job, Dr. Beaker. Well, what do you say, Professor? Is that okay with you?
Of course, you are right. And I will start preparing supercar for takeoff in half an hour?
Great, Professor. Come on, Dr. Beaker. We'd better get you rigged out.
Hear that, Mitch? They're gonna get you some medicine. You're gonna be okay.
Engines charging, Mike. Interlock on. Ready to fire.
Ready it is. Fire one. All right, Dr. Beaker. Not nervous, are you?
My interior feels a tension, symptomatic of a growing excitement.
Oh, good for you. Fire two.
Both firing steadily, Mike. How's Dr. Beaker?
He's fine, Professor. Open up the roof doors and we'll take off.
Roof doors. Open.
You ready, Dr. Beaker? South America, here we come.
Mitch. You awake, Mitch? Now, don't you worry, Mitch. Mike and Dr. Beaker will be back in next to no time. You'll soon be well again. Meantime, you'd better have some of this anti-pie, whatever it is that Dr. Hardwick left. Yeah, I know it tastes awful, but it'll help till they get back with this plant thing. Oh, come on, Mitch. Try and drink some, just to please me.
Base to Supercar. Are you receiving me, Mike? What is your course and speed?
Supercar to base. Airspeed 600 knots, altitude 5,000 feet. Course 170. How do you like flying in the supercar, Doc?
Well, I felt on takeoff that my cardiac organ had temporarily altered its location.
You mean your heart was in your mouth?
Precisely. However, the acclimatization period was but short in duration.
You're okay now?
Indeed, I am enjoying all the sensations concomitant with high-speed air travel. I should come with you more frequently in future.
Well, you'll sure be welcome. Calling base. Switching on video plan.
Roger. I have your position. What is your estimated time of arrival?
Don't know for sure, Professor. There's an awful lot of jungle down where we're headed. What do you think, Dr. Beaker? When will we get there?
It will be difficult to say, Mike. We had better steer for the upper reaches of the Amazon River. After that, it will depend upon our finding a suitable landing point.
Calling base. You read my present position, Professor?
I read you.
Dr. Beaker thinks it's about time we went down for a closer look. Descending to 1,000 feet. How does it look to you down there?
It would be almost guesswork, Mike. But I should think that we could try to land somewhere around here. And I ought to warn you that unless we are extremely fortunate, the terrain is liable to be very damp.
Roger, Doctor. I'll see what we can find. Calling base. I'm looking for a place to set down.
Good luck, both of you. Try to keep radio contact at least until you land.
Will do. Now selecting vertical flight.
How is he, Jimmy?
Gee, Professor, I don't know. I was just trying to get him to take his medicine. and he just went to sleep on me.
That's how Dr. Beaker said it would be. More sleeping than waking.
He's not gonna die, is he?
Well, Jimmy, you've seen enough of science in action to know that we never can be 100% sure of anything. But with Mike and Dr. Beaker and Supercar on his side, Mitch stands the best possible chance of pulling through.
I sure hope so.
Anyways, they've landed safely, and it's only a matter of time before they find this clogy plant. We must be patient.
Well, what do you think, Dr. Beaker?
Satisfactory. Most satisfactory. Not too much moisture in the air or the soil. A good landing spot, Mike. Really, very good.
Yeah, but is it the sort of place you'd expect to find your plant?
It's more than possible. As I recall, the clogi plant itself grows in the forks of tree trunks, and therefore should not be too difficult to recognize. I suggest we commence our search with the utmost dispatch. Curious. Most curious. This stump has been severed, as if a path had been cut through the jungle.
Yeah, it's funny, too. I get the feeling we're being watched. You're dead right, Doc. Look over there.
Good. I am most gratified.
That spear doesn't look particularly gratifying.
It is not the warrior gentleman with whom we are immediately concerned. It is his partner, whose facial patterns, if I read them correctly, proclaim him the tribal priest or local medicine man.
So?
Well, there is no person more likely to know the habitat of the clogi plant than the medicine man. I shall approach him and show him this.
Hey, hold on. You can't just... No, never mind. I guess I'd better keep an eye on you.
Clogi, can you help us? Clogi. It is a plant.
Come on, Doc. Let's get out of here.
No. In tree. Understand?
Too late. I reckon we can consider ourselves surrounded. Well, so much for the problems of communication between civilizations.
Yes, we have not yet succeeded in getting through to them, have we?
You can say that again.
Did you notice that arrow, I wonder?
How could I help noticing it? It missed me by inches.
Curious, most curious. The markings on that arrow, and indeed the dress designs of these people, lead me to conclude that they are of the Chewacca tribe. I did not know they still existed.
Kawakas, huh? Doesn't mean a thing to me, Doc.
But it means a great deal, Mike. I am sure most scientists believe the tribe extinct. But to find them very much alive here in the 20th century, most interesting. They must be the last surviving headhunters on this continent.
You mean they collect heads? Human heads?
Only for ornament. Rough but symmetrical. Clever people, these Chewacas. I shall write a thesis on these people when we get home.
If we get home. Hey, here comes the big chief again. Wonder what's up now?
Well, perhaps they wish to converse.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they're checking our size in hats.
Clogi. Yes?
Looks like Tlogai, no.
Gee, Professor, I'm not too happy about leaving Mitch alone.
There's nothing you can do while he's still sleeping, Jimmy. It's better to give yourself a break That's why I asked you to keep radio watch with me.
And there's no news yet from Supercar. Aren't you worried, Professor?
I'm not worried exactly, Jimmy, but they have been gone a long time. I would have expected them to have made radio contact with us by now.
There's one thing that keeps me happy, Dr. Beaker. It's your head they seem to be interested in, and not mine.
Oh, do you really think so?
Well, if I got the drift of that last bit of conversation, yes.
Well, that's an interesting line of speculation, Mike. I wonder if you're right.
One of us has got to try and sneak back to the supercar.
Oh, I think that would better be you, Mike.
Yeah, I think so too, Dr. Beaker, and I'll tell you why. First, I'm probably better at running, so I stand a better chance of dodging an arrow. Now, my idea is to get back to Supercar and bring her over here. And maybe we can impress these head fanciers so much they'll let you go.
Good, Mike. That's a very sound idea.
Roger. Though you're taking more of a risk than I am, Doc. If they come back and find me gone.
Look, let us stop being theoretical, Mike. The quicker you are off, the less chance there is of that happening. And since the walls are only woven, I suggest you, pick your own exit.
I reckon here's as good a place as any. I should be able to get out on this side without either of them seeing me. So long, Dr. Beaker. I'll see you in about half an hour if all goes well.
What is the phrase? Roger, pilot.
Well, so far so good, I guess.
Try 'em again, Professor. They can't have been gone this long.
I don't know, Jimmy. I'm beginning to wonder whether the radio system may not have broken down.
Have another try, Professor. Please. Gee, I don't know whether Mitch will last out.
Base to Supercar. Are you receiving me? Base to Supercar. Are you receiving me? Over. Nothing. I don't understand it.
Supercar to base. Supercar to base. Mike here. Do you read me?
Base to Supercar. Hello, Mike. We read you.
Mike, are you all right?
Yeah, sure I am. Now, how's Mitch?
Not too good, I'm afraid. Where have you been, Mike? We've been worrying.
Now, hear this, Professor. We've been captured by a tribe of headhunters, and they've still got Dr. Beaker. Right now, I need some good advice.
All right, Mike. What is it you want to know?
They put us in a hut. I managed to get out and come back here, and I reckon on taking Supercar back to scare the living daylights out of them.
Yes, Mike. Sounds a good idea. How can we help?
Can you think up any way that I can throw a real good scare into them? I thought if I made a low pass over them, it might do the trick. But I've got to pick up Dr. Beaker, too.
Yes, that is not so easy. If you land and they see that it is you flying Supercar, they might not be so impressed.
Well, I'll tell you the truth, Professor. They don't seem to be very impressed with me anyway. It's Dr. Beaker they really go for, or at least his head.
I see. Now, listen, Mike. You know how to use the auxiliary power plant on Supercar, do you?
Sure I do. Why?
Well, I have a plan.
I'm so sorry, but my colleague had to step out for a moment. He'll be back shortly, I sincerely hope.
Right, Professor, I get you. It ought to work.
It's got to work, Professor.
Well, it is dangerous, remember. Supercar carries a lot of inflammable fuel on board, but it is worth trying. Hello, Mike.
Yes, Professor?
If you switch on Clearview to intercom, maybe we can see what is happening and give you advice on the spot.
Good idea.
But I assure you, my dear sirs, all I require is your cooperation for a short while. I want some specimens of this plant.
Calling base. Okay, Professor, let's get started. I can hear a drum. I don't know what it means, but I don't aim to wait and find out.
Ready when you are, Mike.
Clearview first, then. Switching to intercom. Forward vision.
Is that where he is, Professor?
That's right, Jimmy.
Supercar to base. Energizing standby power supplies now. What sort of power do you think this plant will push out, Professor?
Oh, about half a megawatt, Mike, so treat it with respect.
You call what we're doing treating it with respect, Professor. I'd call it a destruction test. Never mind. It's all on a good cause. Preparing for takeoff. Charging port engine. Charging starboard. Okay, fire one.
Did you hear that? I said, did you hear that? I do believe you're in a trance. Most interesting. No, do stop that swaying. You're making me feel quite seasick.
Fire two.
She's not lifting, Mike.
I reckon the ground's a bit soggy from the waterfall. Dry out in a minute.
Be careful, Mike.
You ain't seeing nothing yet. Full power both engines. That's done it. Now for your little idea, Professor.
Now, don't forget, Mike, only the shortest possible contact, or you'll blow every fuse in the car.
I probably will anyway. And what about the aerials? Oh, never mind. I'm plugging them into the auxiliary outlet now. I wish I had 3 hands. Well, if that doesn't do it, nothing will.
Now, I wonder what Mike is up to. In any case, it would be a pity to miss any chance of impressing these gentlemen.
I don't know how many more of these this power system can stand. Better save my powder for the next one. Hey, Professor, is there any way I can make a lot of smoke?
You could try running the engines on takeoff mixture instead of normal.
Well, sure I could. That's it. Rich it is. On the button. I reckon we can convince them now. Dr. Beaker, here we come.
Oh, great spirits of the forest. Oh, my goodness me, what superstitious nonsense. Bring your fires to my command. Oh, trickery and mumbo-jumbo. Oh, spirits of the forest, send your devils to speak with me. Come hither, O storm, O Chumba. It is I, Beaker, the wise, the powerful. I say, that was a jolly good one.
I'm putting down now, Professor, and it's working just great.
Well, now I have succeeded in capturing your attention. Perhaps we can have a little service round here. Hello, guy, and make it snappy.
It's worked.
They certainly are anxious to help.
Very well, gentlemen. I shall accept your offering, and on this occasion, stay my wrath. But let us behave ourselves in future, or I shall return in my sky chariot and, wise you up.
Well, that seems to have done the trick.
Sure has. Given him new life.
Gee, I don't know what we'd have done without you, Dr. Beaker. And Mike and Supercar. Say thanks, Mitch.
Well, it'll be like old times to have Mitch scampering around the workshop again. Remind me to keep my laboratory door shut.
Supercar, supercar, with beauty and grace, as swift as can be. Watch it flying through the air. It travels in space or under the sea, and it can journey anywhere. Supercar, supercar. It travels on land or roams the skies, through the heavens' stormy rage. It's Mercury manned and everyone cries, it's the marvel of the age. Supercar, supercar, supercar!